In 3, 2, 1, go. So, welcome to episode 5. Is this episode 5? Yeah, it is episode 5. I checked today because we haven't done an episode in a while. And I thought I did more than 4 episodes, or more episodes than that, but it turns out we've only done 4 episodes before. So I have a big list of people that have contacted me that I'm going to do podcasts with. And I'm gonna start off the summer schedule with a dear friend of mine here. I will introduce you to him shortly. So, episode 5 of the Cosmic Theater podcast. You guys know life is a dream, and we are all dream characters, and each one of our character is sort of living out its own dream in the Cosmic Theater. And our characters happen to crossroads. Okay, so by virtue of you watching this, your character, your dream character, has crossroads with my dream character, and my dream character has crossroads with our dream character for the day, my dear friend Jan. So me and Jan, he's one of our subscribers, longtime subscribers. Jan, did you subscribe from the fitness channel?
No, actually, no.
Not the
No,
fitness.
I subscribe. No. This one.
This one. Okay, so he's one of the early subscribers of this channel, and we started talking on Skype, and we became friends ever since. And he's going to be coming here in August, so that should be fun. So, brother Jan, how are you today?
Hi, man. How are you?
Good.
I'm so glad to be. What is the name of the podcast again? The
The
Cosmic.
Cosmic Theater.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice name, right? Nice name. When I
Yeah,
came, I
that
was like, it's nice.
that's a very nice name. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
it.
Cosmic Theater. So, how you doing today?
I'm okay. I'm pretty nervous about this whole podcast.
Yeah,
I
it's nervous. It can be because you're not used to the camera, right?
No, I'm not. I'm not. Actually, this is, I think, my first YouTube appearance, so to speak, in the flesh. My voice was used in some videos, but me in the flesh. I think this is the first video on
That
YouTube, actually.
see you just introduced yourself very well by pointing out that you're nervous, because usually when we point something out, and you will see this as we progress into the conversation because you pointed it out. Usually when we're in an awkward situation, the minute we point it out, we embrace it, and the minute you embrace something, it sort of begins to dissipate. And you're going to see this as we go on with our conversation. You're going to see that the nervousness is dissipating because you've just stated it, you put it out there.
Yeah. I took a Xanax half an hour ago, so I might be good,
You'll be,
in
the next will usually take what, 45 minutes to hit.
yeah, something like this. I don't
Yeah,
know.
pretty good stuff. My friend gave me one time, and we had fun. We went to the woods. It was not like 9, 10 p.m. and we hang around with some coyotes, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Once in a while, I think it's a good experience to see, that quiet space that you can achieve. Yeah, it's good. I'm a long time abuser, so don't take my word for it.
well,
Yeah,
I'm a long time abuser of psychedelics. That's my forte. That's my
yeah,
area of abuse.
yeah. Also psychedelic. Sometimes mix them all up. So
Yeah. It's
uh,
it's like, it's like, you know, each substance provides you with a unique perspective of what is.
yeah.
You know,
And you have to look at us like modern shamans in a way. At least this is how I look at myself. And it's good to have in your, how can I say? I'm proud of me now because I know how to produce two the most powerful psychedelics known to man. One is the Yopo snuff, and I know how to do it. And the other one is DMT, and I know how to do it, at least theoretically. I have to put it in practice next week. I will let you know how it
Soon,
goes.
eh?
Yeah, yeah.
That's nice.
I my plan is when I will come to visit you to to have some like
Oh,
huge. I don't know,
that would
10.
be amazing. That would be amazing. And
Yeah,
you know what you could do is you could mail the stuff before, okay?
yeah. That was my plan.
Yeah,
It's so the quantity is so you already know. So it's so you know what I mean. It's so easy
see,
to
yeah,
yeah, it's I've ordered many times and without any problems. I'm not talking about DMT, but some other illegal stuffs, and I think should be okay. Perhaps I'm gonna email it directly to you to your address,
yeah,
and
yeah. I've
I don't
had
know
it mailed to
name,
me before.
name, yeah.
I've
So
had it
so you
mailed before. It's easy. Yeah, it's very
all
it
right?
goes through. Yeah, yeah. Here
Okay.
it's a federal crime here to open somebody's mail. It's a serious crime. Nobody ever opens.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody does.
Okay. That's good.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. So, brother Jan, I mean, you know, this conversation's already. It's gonna be very open ended. I know we had in mind that we want to talk about fasting and whatnot because we're both sort of into that kind of things now, and we will definitely talk about it. And the original plan was to have fasting as the main theme. However, what we'll do is, as we're doing right now, is we'll just sort of jump from one topic to another and see where it takes us.
Okay. You're
Okay.
the boss.
Yeah, yeah. So okay. Let's talk a little bit about fasting here because I feel both of us are have we've always, you know, ever since we started talking maybe about a year ago. Yeah, we started talking around this time actually. Last summer, a little bit before that, we started talking. We've
Yeah,
always,
yeah.
yeah, we've always talked about fasting, and that was always one of the things we had in mind is to do fasting. So I'll speak for myself right now. I'm drinking this grape juice.
Mm,
I spoke in several of my videos that I'm doing a juice fast. Now I ended the fast as far as the fast being, you know, a certain amount of days in a row. It was about 21 days. So let's say 3 weeks. And ever since I broke it, it's sort of I've still been mostly drinking juice. Like I ate a watermelon yesterday, but today I have no desire to eat anything solid. So I did a 19-hour water fast, and I'm just drinking juice right now. I just broke it with some with juice, and that's kind of how I'm going on about life for the most part now as a regular thing. So I don't regularly eat solid foods anymore as like, oh, I'm gonna break my fast,
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna eat. I kind of eat it, maybe every 3 4 days, but still mostly juice. Like if I'm having, say, a 4 hour eating window and I'm gonna eat something solid, I'll drink juice and then maybe I'll have a piece of fruit after or a watermelon or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So although the juice fast, quote unquote, is over, but it's sort of becoming a lifestyle for me now. It's no longer a thing for me to consume foods in solid form because I feel like the consumption of solid food every day is just a bit heavy on the stomach. I feel a lot of the life force goes down to the digestive tract to break down the foods and move them through the small intestines and then the large intestines. And like I ate a watermelon yesterday, and I took a big shit today, and I was like, holy shit, no pun intended. All of this came out of my body. Now my body must have put a lot of work to be able to move all that through. It may be watermelon, it may be food that is easy to
Yeah,
digest.
it's impossible to be watermelon. Watermelon is, I think, 80-90% water. So you won't end up taking a big shit from eating a watermelon. I think what happened is watermelon has some cleansing properties. It's like a strong laxative,
Mm,
and perhaps you just eliminate some old stuff. You know what I mean?
You know what, brother Jan? I think that's exactly what happened actually, because
Yeah.
it was too much waste that passed through the system. And keep something in mind. Before that, I haven't ate solid anything for two and a half days, I think. So
Mm.
you're probably right. A lot of that old stuff just sort of came out.
Yeah, I was last year. I was, I think, 4 days and a half in a water fast, and I still eliminate solid feces after 4 days of not eating. So yeah, we have those old stuff, and this fasting is like a shock, and everything begins to unblock, and it is released in the blood system, in the blood system, and you can have all those symptoms like like nausea and yeah, but yeah, it's good for you. It's in the end, it's
Well, and I remember you directed me to a guy on YouTube. His name is Lauren Lockman, and I still
yeah,
watch
yeah,
his
yeah.
videos. I still watch his videos actually from time to time. And the way he has a fasting clinic, and the way he usually breaks his clients' fast is with a watermelon, right? Some kind of a melon,
Papaya or watermelon, something that is very high in water. Yeah,
something high in water. Because
yeah,
I think, yeah, because today, yeah, it was a big watermelon, but it's still mostly water. You know what I mean?
yeah. If you compress all the matter from a watermelon, it's nothing. You know what I
It's
mean? So
nothing. You're
it's
right, because when I juice a watermelon, I don't have a juicer anymore. I shipped it because I'm too lazy. This is pasteurized juice, by the way, okay? But it's highly recommended. There's a big thing on it. But I'm too lazy to juice. I'm just way too lazy to juice. I even returned the juicer to get the money back. I'm just too lazy to juice, right? But when I was juicing the watermelon, in those 21-day period, it was mostly watermelon. Even after juicing the big watermelon and you go to the pulp where it collects the pulp, it wasn't that much pulp. It wasn't. It
yeah,
wasn't.
no, no,
It wasn't that much.
almost no pulp. But tell me something about this diet that you're on, right? So I totally get it. The reducing the caloric intake, it's very healthy. Fasting, intermittent fasting, prolonged fasting, very healthy.
Prolonged is
Also,
obviously the king. It's the top of the mountain.
yeah, yes, it is. But each of those types of fasting has different. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's easier and more practical to have like a short 2 3 days to reset your system. It's not always so easy for you to take like a long one, and it's as good as it gets. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, it's good enough. It's good enough to have once in a while 3 days fasting, especially for regular people who, you know what I mean, who are so far away from, I mean, they are so in the wrong direction, so to speak, so yeah, it's
Well, there's different levels of healing, right? And
oh, no, no, sorry for I lost my train of thought. So I was wanting to ask you, uh do you think that juicing is really a good idea? You know what I mean? Because chewing the fruits, and taking everything from the fruit, including the pulp and fibers and everything, la la la. It's the whole food. I think it's better than like half of it, which is just the juice.
I would have to agree with you there, because part of the
No, no.
reason why. No, no, no. I actually do agree. I actually do think that it's better to eat the fruit. And when I was juicing, when I did the 21 days in a row of just juicing, I swear every time I juice something, I would look at it and be like, I understand why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I understand because it really, a lot of stuff came out of my bowels. It was like really, really good. An amazing experience, and in fact, like I'm still mostly juicing right now. Uh, However, every time I looked at the fruit, I just said to myself, I would rather eat this thing. Nature already gave it to me perfect as it is. It was just like an intuitive thing in me. You know I did not like the process of juicing. It was like not only because I have to do it and it takes time. I did not like the process of putting the fruit, the watermelon, the pear in there and seeing it come apart, because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's a whole thing. So you know, the thing with the juicing, I started eating solids again now because of what you said, because it's like this whole thing is whole. So I'm not doing entirely juicing. The and the only time that I could see myself doing this full time, just drinking liquids, would be coconut water. And the only reason I'm not doing it right now is because it's so goddamn expensive here. But if I go to Thailand, I live there, it's very cheap, because coconut water, it's already whole. We're looking at something as a whole, right? It's already whole. It's like it's basically nature's water, and it's got it's got electrolytes in it, very high electromagnetic energy, and low sugar content, because these juices have a lot of sugar on their
A
own.
lot of sugar. That's
Oh, a
that's
lot of
another
sugar.
thing.
This
That's
has
another thing.
yeah, it's not like this has a lot of sugar, man. Like this is grape juice, right? It's got a
Yeah.
lot of sugar in it. I drink it slowly, keep in mind. Nevertheless, nature clearly intended the fruit to be the fruit. You see? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I totally see where you're coming from. And I might very well, because I'm also realizing this on my own. I might very well just eat solids, fruits for the next 2 months until I go to Thailand, where I can switch off to coconut water, because I do like to get things holistically from nature as they are.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know much about this diet of yours. I know that eventually you want to progress into eating way less and using more of the lighter fuels, right? Like the sun, the air, and that pranic energy. I don't know much about it, to be honest, but intuitively I can feel it because I was on the beach today all day, and you know what I mean. That was my food for the day, so it's something undescribable. It, you know what I mean. That
Okay.
energy, that, yeah, was I looking. By the way, you know, I'm gonna start a fast, but perhaps we're gonna talk later
We'll
about
talk
this.
about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
have.
speaking of like the energy, the prana. Um, I remember I lived last year when we started talking. I lived in this beautiful area, Dundas, in Hamilton, and there was this one spot. I mean, I was basically surrounded by conservation land, and there was this one spot. Uh, I would go to it every day whenever the weather was nice. So it was summertime, and I would just sit there for 5 hours because I felt like I was fulfilled there. I would just sit there. I have some water with me, but barely drink any water, and I would just sit there and I was fine. I was happy. I was fulfilled. There was some
Mhm.
energy there that fed my soul, and the soul feeds everything else. The soul feeds the physical body. So then you see people who starve, and a lot of people, when they come across this, living off prana, they'll be like, "Well, look at how many people are starving. Look at children in Africa. Look at this." Well, people who are starving, they're starving because they're born into a fear program. Very little of who they are, which is pure awareness, pure energy, is brought into manifestation, and what is left from them is this just a physical program running off the body and the mind. And if that's running off the fear program, of course you're going to be starving to death. You're not getting energy from elsewhere. You're going to be starving to death. Your awareness is limited to this physical body, which needs food as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, and I think if you want to switch to use more of the highest form of fuels, of the, less dense matter, in a way, sort of speak, um, first you have to prepare yourself for this transition. And in my opinion, there's a huge difference between being in the starvation mode and being in the fasted mode. For me, at least, it's a huge difference. So it's better not to eat anything for a week than to eat 200 calories every day. I think my body is under more stress in the second situation.
In
You
a
know what I mean?
situation where you're eating like 200 calories a day kind of thing.
Versus none, because where there are none, you know, the ketosis, it's full on, and also your body knows, okay, it's time to do something else, it's time to do some. When you barely eat like 200 calories or something, again, I'm not an expert, this is just my opinion, and from my experience, it's way harder to eat just a, a loaf of bread, let's say, every day, or not to eat anything.
Well, I'll tell you
Mhm.
right now, like I only broke the whatever 20-hour fast just now. I don't even really like to call them fast because true fasting is usually like 2 days and beyond, right? That's just, because 20-hour fast is just the way humans live, like all it's normal,
That
you know.
this is the like the business as usual, something
Business
like
as
this.
usual. I don't really like to call it
Yeah,
fast. I really don't. It's
yeah.
an insult to actual fasting. So let's just say
But on the other hand, because I'm now in a situation that I can clearly see a difference between how I am now, and now I'm in the gutter, so to speak, and how I was in terms of my state, my health, my everything when I just intermittent fasting, so not prolonged fast. So it's like a magic. It's like magic.
it really is. It really is. Not to put it down because it's still challenging for a lot of people to just do that. But once you do it enough, you realize it's the natural state of your body, which is already pleasant as is. If we follow nature, it's very pleasant. Eating 24 hours at a time every day, it's normal, it's natural, it's not really fasting, but it's still healthy and pleasant. Um, but what I was saying, yeah. So before I started to drink the juice, I was kind of like, you know what? If I just keep drinking water today, I'll be good. I'll be good. But now that I drank juice, my mind's starting to work. Be like, watermelons are on sale. That watermelon was good. Maybe I'll get a watermelon. And I might get a watermelon today. Because now you open the door. You see?
This is like a nice way of saying that we are hooked on carbs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
man, it's a madness for me. One of the reason I want to do this radical thing as like a 40 days fasting is because I don't know what to do anymore. Because on one hand, I love fruits. I want to eat fruits. I'm a full vegan in my heart. This is why I'm. But on the other hand, I don't get along with carbs at all, because if I start eating now, like you said, like a piece of banana, right? I want more, I want more and more and more and more. And that's why you see those guys on YouTube, especially fruitarians or vegans living on Thailand, an amazing life, but
Amazing.
they keep snacking all day. They
All
eat
day. Yeah,
all
yeah.
day.
I usually make fun of them in my videos. I'll kind of have
Yeah,
like because
I think
it's true. You're right.
you're not supposed. You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing, because
No, no, no.
look at the monkeys, right? We are monkeys, right? So imagine we are like in a monkey place, we can swing around, monkey around, and eat a banana, eat something all day long. This is the life in a way, So it has merits, and you can look at it. But for I stopped thinking that there is a universal cure for everybody. To be honest, I realized from my own experience that sometimes things can be, for me, something can be very good, and for you, the same thing can be poisonous. So everybody has to try it for themselves. I think channels like yours and people talking about food. Now you are on this breathing thing, but You talked about food even last year about intermittent fasting. Um, you encourage people to start playing around with their diet. I think this is the key. You don't have to take anything to be like an absolute truth, because there aren't. Just play with it, see, and don't try at least to challenge those silly beliefs. Three meals a day, breakfast the most important meal of the day, eat bread, eat milk, it's good for you. Many people are still on that level of knowledge, still. Yeah.
And speaking of us being monkeys, so although yes, like we clearly resemble that, we share much of our genetic, but also, that's what separates humans from the rest of the animal kingdom, is that we're more conscious, we're more aware. We have the capacity to reach enlightenment. And even there's this great yogi, his name is Vivekananda. He was a self-realized being, okay? Everybody sort of just knew that he was a self-realized being. And he was like a modern saint too. He was like in the 1900s. And he said the purpose of human being is to rise above the laws of nature. And I think things like intermittent fasting and beyond that, you start to see that you're more than just an animal. You start to see the divinity in you, because if you're an animal, like you said, just hang out from tree to tree and keep eating, all day. Just keep munching all day. That's animal life. Not it can be fun, but it's a lower type of fun. It's a lower type of pleasure. It's confined to whatever the awareness is confined within. And I think things like fasting, even intermittent fasting, eating once a day or 2 meals, within a short time span, you're now beginning to see that you're more than just an animal. You're beginning to see the divinity in you in one way or another. And I don't see monkeys sitting around podcasting talking about this stuff, because again, they do not have that capacity that we human beings do. Clearly,
Yeah.
clearly, without a doubt, that human beings are higher up on the evolutionary ladder as far as evolution of consciousness is concerned. Like if you're consciousness and you're looking to go up the ladder, you're much more likely to pick a human incarnation than an animal
Mhm.
incarnation. In fact, even on the Buddhist, if you look at the Buddhist cosmology and the Buddhist realms of existence, the human being is very high. It's right before the God level.
I have I can understand what you're saying, and I completely agree with you. The only mention that I have, there might be some entities or even some forms of animals, some species of animals that we don't really understand, or we can't really perceive them. It's like everything that is below us in terms of consciousness, right? You can understand, but what is beyond you, you will apply like like a reduction. It's like dogs don't look at humans like humans. Dogs look at humans like big dogs, something like this. They cannot see you for who you really are. It's the same with us. You can look at a butterfly and completely misunderstand it. You know what I mean? This is my only concern, that we might be encounter uh, higher forms of consciousness, but I don't think we are able to see beyond our own level.
Okay, this is a good thing to have a discussion over. What defines higher consciousness?
Yeah, it's a very complex topic.
It's a complex topic. Okay, the first thing that comes to my mind whenever, if I'm going to define higher consciousness, would be the ability to see yourself in everything else. And by seeing yourself in everything else, you can't help, this is just something you can't help but develop empathy and compassion. And so I think any species that displays empathy and compassion is a species that is displaying traits that are in harmony with higher consciousness. Okay?
Yeah, but think about it. They So you can have the case of something that is very empathic, very warm, if you want, displays signs of very high consciousness in terms of being so beside compassion, helping others, sacrificing themselves, blah blah blah. But this doesn't necessarily equates with being self-conscious. You can do them just by being more into the Tao. Like you know what I mean? Animals are more into the way.
They're
They
more
are
in
not conscious
flow. I'll give you that. They're more in flow.
of the flow because they don't question the present moment, right? They take it as it is, and you can see how well integrated they are in their ecosystem in a way. So that saying that God gives you everything is true in the case of animals in a way, right? Because they don't have to struggle for like, yeah, I know what you mean. For some,
But
I don't
here's
know.
the thing. Here's the thing. Sorry to cut you off, Jan. I used to associate higher consciousness with being in the moment and with being in flow. And I have to question that again. Because if you're always in flow and you're always in the present, never questioning the moment, never questioning anything, you're asleep. You're completely asleep. Animals are asleep. So that's why animals can't do what we humans can do, which is become breatharians. Animals can't do that. They're gonna keep feeding off one another because they're completely asleep. You see?
But
Completely
you
asleep.
already have breatharians in the in the non-human realm, right? You can see plants; they are
Right.
breatharian.
Plants are a different story. See, plants, I can talk to you about plants all day long because I think trees might actually be enlightened. I think plants might be.
See, you know, this is not the first time we talk about
That's
this,
not the first time we talked
especially
about this.
if so. Think about it. We can't judge trees. Why? Because our subjective time is so different than theirs. It's like a bacteria is trying to judge us or to perceive us. It's impossible because in a blink of an eye, you know, our time is so different. So trees, uh, they have, they can be as conscious as you are.
Man, they
Or
trip me out. When I'm around trees, I'm like, I feel I'm enlightened. I feel like I'm around enlightened beings.
so think about it. On
Crazy.
one level, they have complete trust in Tao, right? Complete, no question about it.
No,
Not even like a lion or like a buffalo or like an animal, right? So they are like a part of nature 100%, like a part of God. Okay,
absolutely.
okay. They choose to they use the most friendly way of fueling, right? So the most civilized way of fueling. They don't harm anybody.
They don't harm
They
anybody.
all, not even that, they also give life on earth the main fuel, like the oxygen. So they are sacrificing. They live to serve, so to speak.
Serve.
They,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they live to serve. Okay, so they are the perfect example of meditation, if you want, right? Because how boring it used to be, like you know, hard for you to meditate for half an hour or an hour, right?
It's
They
hard.
are doing,
I honestly can't make it past 30 minutes. You know, I can't make it past 30 minutes. It's just like I'm like I get restless.
they also don't fear death. They surrender every winter. They surrender so natural. They
Everything.
reborn every spring. See, so okay, so this is just trees, right? But what about Earth? What about Moon? You know?
There I can talk to you, like, because there I as a human feel like I have to bow down to these things. I really feel like I have to bow down to the trees, to the sun, to the moon. So in that sense, no, I think there are many other higher beings than human being. Believe me.
And let's go and let's go to the animals as well. Okay, some of the animals clearly suffer more. Oh, look, this is another way to judge the level of enlightenment. To see how much suffering is, how much
Bingo.
stress. Okay, so
Bingo.
think about it this way. If you look at it as in a spectrum, right? So I think on the hardest level, I'm not saying the lowest, but the harder, the life is the hardest for this group. I think are carnivores, because basically they need to struggle every day just to survive. They need to kill, they need to fight for their lives, so it's like a very hard life.
Man,
But
yeah.
think,
So sorry to cut you off. Just hold that thought what you
yeah,
said about the carnivores, because I just watched a documentary. Um, it's called The Lions of San Sabi, the Brothers in Blood. Oh my God. The lion world is brutal. And you never see this in documentaries, but this one specific one, you guys look it up. Brothers in Blood, The Lions of San Sabi, or Sabi Sands. You will see
okay,
what it's like to be a lion, and it is brutal. Sorry to cut
it's
you off.
very hard. It's very hard. So essentially, uh, when you look like the classic chase, the lion chasing a gazelle or something like this, and my little daughter, she wants the gazelle to escape, to be free, not to be caught by the lion. But if the lion don't eat today, he will die, and this happens every single day. So don't look at the lion as like he's the king of the jungle. He's the my no. He's like a slave for food. Every single day he has to wake up and go there and grind. And uh, and so many lions die. So many lions don't mate, don't reproduce their genes. So it's a
Brutal.
hard work. Okay, but on the other hand, think about a cat, my friend. Uh, how the same thing, right? So you can look at the lion and as being uh, one level of the same thing, because it is the same thing, the cat and the lion, and
And the lion.
you can see between them, uh, but the cat is the fucking boss of the world now. The cats are gods again, and they used to be gods 10,000 years ago, and they are gods again. Like literally, they are gods. They don't have owners. So I live in UK. I live close to Liverpool. We have, I don't know, hundreds of wild cats around. Not wild cats, like cats. They are not from forest or something. They are just,
They just hang out in the city.
yeah, and everybody feeds them. They are free, walk around, have sex every fucking night. You know what I mean? So who's, what? And what do you don't know what they are doing.
But you're okay, but you could, but that's the thing, that's what's being a human being so special, is at higher consciousness you could actually become the cat and see exactly what it's like to be the cat. And I was watching a video by Sadhguru, and he was saying, everybody wants to be the eagle, and he told a story about a yogi who became an eagle. He went into meditation and he became an eagle, and then he came back and he told everybody, guys, it's not so special to be an eagle, it's still a struggle. All you're doing
Mhm.
is you're still looking for food, and you have a better vision, but you're still looking for food, you're flying around looking for food. So you could actually become the cat. You could become even that cat that you're talking about. And I think if you were to become that cat, you would still see a largely unconscious being. a comfortable being, but a largely unconscious being who is still ultimately looking for food, looking for sex, and that's about it.
And who's saying that life is more than just it, right? No,
Well,
no, no.
that's
You know what I mean about things going full circle. So you struggle, you reach, you strive for the enlightenment, you do the hard work, you work with yourself, you do the meditation, and eventually at 100 you're gonna come back full circle,
oh yeah.
go in the sun, play, and that's your enlightenment. It was there all along. So who, so perhaps this is the best life, walking
Well,
around in the
I'm
city.
not arguing that it's perfect because I see that that particular consciousness is experiencing that particular thing. What I'm arguing here is that's a lower form of being than say a human being. That's what I'm trying to
I,
make
I,
argument for
I
here.
think, I don't know, to be honest. And I think we could still argue about this because another thing, think about it. Uh, can you put on the same level of consciousness a human with another human? You can see like
There,
huge
there is
differences.
different, of course, and so even in the cat kingdom, you will see that
Exactly.
there is different consciousness.
We tend to look at animals and judge them like they are all the same. Birds, cats, dogs. But think about it. My candidate for enlightenment is are bears, because I was thinking bears are they. I'm not talking about the whole populations of bears, right? Like I'm not talking about the whole population of people when we're talking about enlightenment. The vast majority of people don't even have the curiosity. You know what I mean? Not yet. They will
Not yet,
eventually.
not yet.
Everybody.
They're again in earlier stages of the evolution for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but think about a bear. A bear naturally he has to meditate and fast for months. This is a sure thing for reaching higher states of consciousness.
yeah, yeah.
Who's to say out of 100,000 bears all over the world, you may have two Dalai Lamas among
That's
them,
true.
or
You know what?
you
That's
know what
true.
I'm.
I could see that. I could definitely see even within the animal realm that you have enlightened beings for sure. I could totally see that.
And it's not like if this will be the case, the next day this Yogi Bear will go to the national TV and say, I'm the enlightened bear. No, probably he will stay secluded like the other
Yeah,
sages.
I think you managed to change my mind a little bit about seeing the animal kingdom here because yeah, I think maybe certain species are maybe higher evolved than maybe the general animal population is, in a lower
Yeah, yeah,
form. But maybe
definitely.
there are certain species that are actually higher up the evolution than human beings.
I think they are more in tune with the way, but they lack the free will, because many of the animals, they didn't, taste the fruit of knowledge.
The
What
apple,
was the apple? You know what I mean?
the
They
apple,
are
yeah.
still in that mechanical God created phase, that everything is like a program, like it goes without questioning. You know what I mean? Baby turtles, they just know how to walk, they know how to reproduce, they are on in the way
They're in the
completely.
way. They're in the way because I mean I can't think of another animal that can levitate like human beings. I'm talking about llamas here and yogis. I mean levitation, flying, teleporting. All these things are just like normal things in these circles.
Do you think so?
Absolutely. Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, brother. Without a shadow of a doubt.
You know what?
Without
for me, world it's such a magical place in so many ways. uh, this is just a form of you know what I mean, of magic. And I know people usually are so wow levitation, but I don't know. I Even if the levitation is just like a story, they this is like something to impress kids in a way. You know what I mean? Because this is not the the, the main purpose of you or of mine is not to levitate, right? Because I can easily do you know the joke uh, about that guy? I don't know if you told this joke or I've heard it somewhere else, about that guy who practiced all his life and he went to Buddha, and you know, I can walk on the water. And Buddha said, but why? The ferry is just a nickel.
Yeah.
So he practiced all his life to walk on the water, and Buddha said, okay, that's nice, but the ferry is just a nickel.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to choose your fights. And
And Patanjali, he basically, he also sent a warning. He said, look, you guys are going to sit down and meditate, and you're going to develop all these cities, all these powers. He says, don't make too big of a deal of them.
and by the way, I'm I'm so uneducated in this Buddhist thing. I don't know
It's
almost
quite a
anything.
world. It's quite a world, man, because they've really dug deep into the inner worlds. Uh, the Sanatana Dharma, which is basically the Indian philosophy of seeing things. Which, by the way, Sanatana Dharma means the eternal way, which basically means the Tao, right? So Sanatana Dharma is a magical world on its own, because they have really dug deep into this stuff, and they've really figured out, they've mapped it out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They have maps. They actually, if you go to Tibet, you follow a certain script and you'll levitate. They have scripts you follow, meditations you do, scripts you follow, mantras you do, and they even have timelines. You will levitate in within a certain amount of time, approximately.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. They have maps for this, man. They have maps. Okay? In that world, these are normal things. These are not superpowers. They're not magical. They're normal things. They're the way of things. And I don't see any other animal capable of going inwards, having the higher awareness to be able to do these things with such ease. Because when you're doing these things with such ease, you've risen above the laws of nature. You've become God, He who created nature. And God is He who created nature and He who is experiencing nature. The case with animals and the majority of humans, animals are in the way. They're perfectly God experiencing the creation, but they're nowhere near God who created the creation.
Yeah.
Human beings were capable of being both levels at the same time.
Yeah, I say this again. So I think uh, what differentiates us from the rest of them, but you know, I don't think it's so important to make these distinctions between them and us, because you don't know exactly. Some animals, you know, some animals may be there and you don't know about it. Some people can be there and you don't know about it. So it's so subjective and so and we are so ignorant yet.
Oh, we're
Think,
ignorant. I will agree with you there. We're very ignorant.
even we can discover that we are just a drop of life in the vastness of life across the universe, and I'm sure this is the case because I had a very powerful psychedelic experience on Yopo when I literally experienced um, being on the highway on Milky Way. So I was the Earth was just a dot, and he was like in a highway, of like like on in a galactic highway.
Okay.
We were on a galactic highway,
Okay.
and it was this group of entities, right? And they didn't have a form, so I don't remember the form. It wasn't relevant. It was more like a connection with my emotions, right? So I experienced them through my emotions, not through my eyes, and they were so powerful, like you said, godlike. But the power wasn't, they didn't know. So if I would ask some of them, how do you move this planet from here to here, he would just say, I move the planet from here to here.
That's it.
Didn't know how to do it, you know what I mean? It was so weird. And they were just happy dancing around, moving on this highway,
Uh-huh.
coming here, because that was the thing. The earth, we were visited in that time by them, and man, it was amazing. So I can't really explain. I was crying, I was
Yeah.
laughing. They just uh, put all their love on me, but it wasn't like a human form of love
It's
for
not.
them.
It really isn't a human form of love, right?
I feel so not good in explaining this. I don't know. So it was very intense,
It's
very
not.
intense.
It's not. It's an experience. It's a very difficult thing to explain. But I'll be honest with you. I've decided that I'm not going to be here for more than 20 years.
Yeah,
Uh,
what was the thing? I've noticed that on
I,
your Instagram
I
today.
am, I am here to do something, and I'm doing it right now. And I am already getting phone calls that it's time for me to go home. So I think I'm going to be here for 20 more years. And what I'm going to be learning next from here on is how to drop my body safely and how to go where I want to go next, and make the transition as easily and as seemingly as possible. Because the thing you have to realize is that you are in charge. You have all the choice to do what you want. You could stay in this body, carry out your life here. You could do whatever you want. You could leave it right now and go somewhere else. Sadhguru's wife, she left her body. You could go to other places in the cosmic theater, if you will. And I visited some places that I from time to time really feel a calling to go to again. In my earlier days of experimenting with psychedelics, I used to go to this particular place where it's in the astral plane, and that was sort of my home, if you will, my soul's home. Because even the soul is kind of like it's still a form of ego. It's an illusion. So it's like the layer goes on and on, right? The cosmic theater is so massive and so huge that even you are playing at different levels. And there was this particular place that I went to not every time, but every time I consciously decided to go there in the earlier stages of experimenting with mushrooms. And that particular place felt like home for me. Okay, and in those times, I would channel my spirit guides from that place. I would channel my guardian angel, and really just have regular conversations with the spirits in there, my soul family, if you will. And 3 years ago, I had a trip, and I was told you have to go back to Earth now, because I wasn't gonna come back to my body. I was gonna stay there. I wasn't gonna come back. I was gonna leave my body here because I just wanted to stay there. And I was sent back, not by brute force, but by gentle force. I was sent back into my body, saying, "Look, you've got to be here for now. You've got to do some things, and you've got to be here." And now I'm getting the messages that I've just got to be here for 10, 20 more years, and then I could go there again. And that's something that I'm feeling for myself, you understand? So I've already mentally started preparing for the process of leaving my,
Okay.
I've already mentally prepared for it. And you know, for anybody watching this, you just have to understand that you have absolute free choice. Okay, you have absolute free choice in anything, not just in this particular life, but if you want to peace out, you can peace out. You know, because there's such a stigma around death and around, no, but you got to stick around here and do this and that. Not necessarily. You might have to. I was told I have to come back here because it's for my higher good. And indeed it is. And I think now with these videos that I'm doing, clearly that's why I'm here. That's my particular part in this game, is to sort of this awareness. And one particular piece of awareness that I would like to spread to everybody watching this is, look, if you feel like you've got to go somewhere else and you don't want to hang around in this plane of existence for too long, hey, who's stopping you? You have absolute free choice, because there is definitely a stigma around, look, you know, this is kind of like a prison planet, in all honesty. It really is. When you really look into it, in many ways, it's a prison planet. And, you know, that's sort of a common myth, that I have to stick around here. You know, that you're just basically staying in the prison. Well, you don't have to. I'm just putting it out there for you guys. You don't have to. You might have to do something, experience certain things that are for your higher good. But when you feel it inside that I gotta go, then you gotta go. Nobody's stopping you. Okay? But if you're gonna go, learn how to go. Learn how to let go. There are systems out there that teach you. Sadhguru, for example, is just one example. He takes yogis who just want to leave their body, takes them into this process. They go through this process and then they leave their body. And that's what his wife did, by the way. His wife left her body. She was here. She looked around. She said, everything is beautiful. Everything is pleasant. Everything is magnificent around me. This is perfect. This is the perfect time. I want to leave my body. Okay, so this is one piece of awareness that I just want to spread out there, you know, for all the folks who are watching this. Yeah.
I just lighted the cigarette. I'm not. I don't know if you can smoke on YouTube. It is.
You know what? I won't even. I'm get all my videos are getting demonetized.
Because of the psychedelic references.
Yeah, because of the psychedelic. So I'm not even gonna monetize this. You know, screw them. You know, it's. I just put these videos out because they gotta be put out anyway.
Yeah, I think anyway, the minute you accept to monetize your videos, I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but if you can do it without monetizing your videos, like using Patreons or affiliate marketing or something else.
Yeah, I'm heading towards that, because you know the Patreon support has been going up, you know, very generously. You know, I honestly, I know some of the Patreons are listening to this, but you know, I'm honestly impressed. And you know, it's way above expectations already for such a small channel, the amount of support. So I'm, you know what, I'm probably just a matter of time before I demonetize all the videos anyway, because I mean, they're already getting demonetized by YouTube, like, you know, automatically. So,
and it's not like you're making too much out of it
no,
anyway.
man, barely, like, barely anything. Yeah, I'll just demonetize them, man, honestly.
Yeah, or just do whatever you want and don't care if they demonetize them. Just let them demonetize them. You
If
know.
I have, like, there's certain videos that I have, like the ones that have most of the views, I'll keep the monetization there because that's anyway where the money's coming from. But I think everything else I'll just demonetize.
You know that I have this long dream of mine to start my own YouTube channel, and who knows, maybe I will do it. I think this invitation in your podcast is a good step in the right direction, because one of the reason I don't start a YouTube channel yet is because I have this long list of reasons why not doing it. I'm not interesting enough. I'm gonna bore people to death. You know what I mean? All these silly excuses. And but if I will start one, I will not do it I will not let them to buy me in any way. So I don't give a fuck. I want to be honest. If I'm using psychedelics, I'm gonna be honest about it. If I'm smoking now, I want to quit. You know my plan. I want to show this. I don't like to pretend that I'm something that I'm not. You know what I mean? So I don't care. If my purpose of me going on this digital world, on this YouTube, the world of content, is not to make money out of it, is to express who I am and to express my message, and like you said, to do my job, to do my part.
Yeah, I think playing the part, like I feel like I'm just a pawn in the game, and people say
You
thank
definitely.
you for the videos, but I'm just like, I don't know what you're thanking me for. It's what else?
No,
What
no, no,
else?
no. No, take the credit in a way, because you have free will, right? So you can make a choice. Take me for example. I'm not doing the work yet. So you are the better student. You know what I mean? In the game of life, you're doing your job. You're doing your homework. You're doing your part. I'm trying to get there. Another thing, Said, I was always wanted to ask you this question. So you have all this amazing content on your channel, right? Interesting things, and you are an amazing person. The way you express your emotions, your feelings, but I don't know if it's something that you don't show or if it's something that you don't have. Where is the struggle? Because I'm struggling so much in fighting my own self, and everything seems effortless for you, and
Well,
I bet it's not always
well,
effortless, right?
actually, you're kind of wrong about that. Everything is effortless. The struggle was in the earlier stages of the journey. When I said earlier,
Oh.
I'm not even talking about now. Like when I started this channel, I was already in this effortless state. Like if you go
Mm.
back to video one, you'll see I'm always been effortless. The struggle was in the earlier stages. The struggle was the pre, was the before. Like it was basically between age, say 18 and 24. I struggled a lot in those times. I struggled a lot. I used to drink alcohol on my own at my apartment and cry because I felt I was so miserable and I was so worthless as a person. Okay, I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. This was me when I was 18, 19. Okay, drinking by myself at my apartment, crying because I felt worthless, miserable, alone, all of it, you name it. Depressed, anxious.
Yeah, I understand. I can totally understand that you clearly like break through into a different stage, right? But I'm saying you're doing spiritual work, and I know this type of work, and this work involves demons, shit stirring inside yourself, you fighting against yourself, sometimes a lot of doubts. So what is your secret? What is your
I don't know, but because in all honesty, I feel like everything is effortless into my life, and everything is. It truly
Mhm.
is. Everything truly is. I feel like I'm a very blessed person. God, I always say, God bless. I always give credit to the doubt. But I do feel like I'm a blessed person. I do feel like I don't have to struggle. I do feel like it's all easy. I really do genuinely feel
That's
it shows in my videos, it shows in my expression. And I think you will see when you come hang out here, you'll see that everything is just I'm sort of very easygoing and it's all very easy and it's all very,
okay.
I think I got in a certain place in the game where everything flows. Again, I definitely actually, because if you look at every aspect of my life, you will see a very smooth sailing river in every aspect. In the way I earn money and how I earn it, it's very fun, it's very relaxed. I'm teaching kids. The way even the opportunity came to me, You know, now we've got this channel, we've got the Patreons, and it's like all these things happening. And if you look at every aspect of my life now in this present moment, and probably for the rest of my existence here, because once you tap into this place and you hang around in that effortless space, you're there. You're there. That's it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You're there. Like you can trust that you will be there until the end of your lifetime here. You know, and
Okay.
yeah, and I definitely feel like I tapped into it. How, when, I can't pinpoint it exactly, but I can tell you about the struggle. I could sit down with you here and tell you many, many stories of struggle in between that age, between age 18 and 24, 25. I could tell you about many times where I sat around crying because I felt despair
But
and
how old are you? How old are you now?
28.
20. So yeah. So okay.
I would say about
Yeah.
4 years ago, it all started becoming smooth sailing. Yeah, about that time, 4 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago. I would say 3 years ago, actually. I would say 3 years ago. You know, everything started kind of becoming smooth sailing. And the thing is, I feel like for the last 3 years, I've been on this ship and it's been literally smooth sailing. And because now I have a proven track record that, hey, I'm just hanging around on this sail, on this ship, and it's smooth sailing. So now I could trust that for the rest of my life, I'll just hang around here on the ship and it's going to be smooth sailing. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because now I
Yeah.
have experiential faith.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
It's
understand what
reinforcing. It's reinforcing your beliefs, and it's like a virtuous circle. Now you're gonna get better and better. I can totally understand.
I'm
Perhaps I can't really pinpoint exactly my question to you. If I will find a different way to express exactly what I want, and I think me and you hanging out face to face and doing all those amazing things that we're gonna do, I'm
probably.
gonna,
I can
yeah,
see lots. I can see lots of dry fasting, mushrooms,
yeah,
DMT, all kinds of things coming together.
and plenty of nature, and plenty of nature. Yeah.
Oh, so the place that you're gonna come hang out with me in,
Hmm.
is different than where I'm here now. Because I told you, me and my brother were moving. We're actually moving to conservation land. It's
But
literally
where? It's still not Ottawa. It's not a different.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But
Okay.
so that August when you come hang out with me, say like we talked, say mid-August, right? August 13, August
Yeah.
14. Yeah, when you come hang out with me, you we're gonna be hanging out in a conservation land, basically.
I-
Basically.
I'm 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 gonna fly in Canada anyway on first
Okay.
because to be honest, Canada I don't think it's like a place that you should go for 2 weeks. If you have the chance to be there at least a month to
Especially August, man. August here is a heaven. July, August here are heavenly months.
and I'm gonna be flying to Toronto. So because that's the cheapest ticket from Bucharest to Toronto. I'm gonna go to Romania before. So now I'm in UK. I'm gonna go to Romania in 2 weeks to apply for my passport and everything because my passport is expired,
Okay.
and that's the quickest way. It's quicker than going to the embassy. I'm gonna go to that place in Romania that I've told you about, Vama Veche. I'm gonna stay there for 2 weeks,
Nice.
supercharge myself before coming to Canada. Yeah, it's
Nice.
gonna be amazing. Yeah,
So
and you have to advise me a little bit because I will see some friends in Toronto. I have some family friends,
okay.
but then I want to do something new for me. I just want to go and
Okay.
explore.
I wouldn't. I would hang around. I wouldn't come to Ottawa until you're gonna come hang out with me, just because
Yeah.
there's a lot more to see there. Like there's a lot more nature up north in Toronto.
Hmm.
And I would rather, if I was you, I would just stay around there. So that you have to look up Muskoka. Muskoka, Muskak. I'll send you the name of it. Muskoka
Okay, okay.
is a heaven. It's about 2-3 hours away from Toronto. It's an absolute heaven. If you can find yourself a cottage there, and you may be able to find something cheap if you look really hard, Okay.
I have a different plan. Do you know? Did you ever tried couch surfing?
I was just gonna say I have not tried it. I will definitely try it now that I will be traveling around.
I
But
posted.
that's probably a really good idea, actually. Couch surfing.
Yeah, I had this friend, and uh, so he was living in a shared house with two other guys. He only had a room, but
Okay.
still every week he had somebody from a different country coming to his room, and he shared the room with that person. And I've met a lot of couch surfers, so to speak,
Well,
and yeah, I want to do it. That's my plan. I
I'm looking on couch surfing, and there are people that are hosting on couch surfing that are from Muskoka. So you could probably find yourself some local hanging out in the countryside and go stay in their house.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay,
So
that's great.
do you want to recap my fasting plan just
Yes,
a bit?
please. I was about to do that before we finish this. So you have a fasting plan. So can you
Yeah,
share it with us and like tell us what's gonna happen with it moving forward?
yeah. So the thing is, now I'm deep into the opposite of fasting. Okay, so I'm in this orgy of everything. I mean, I want to quit smoking, I want to quit drinking, I want to quit smoking weed, and I want to quit eating for 40 days. Okay, now I'm doing the opposite. I'm eating as much as I crave and want. I smoke like crazy. I think I didn't smoke so much weed like I did in the last week, I think, in my life.
Whoa.
Uh, it- it's like a madness. I think it's like an ego backlash or something. Like being afraid of what's coming is like I'm I'm scared inside or something. I can't really explain it, but the beauty of this, what the beauty of this is, allowing, giving myself room to do whatever the fuck I want. um, I naturally discovered that I don't really like to drink anymore. I don't really like to. So I'm doing all these excesses, like I'm smoking, eating, and I fucking hated it. So that was my plan. I want to like you stuff yourself with chocolate so you can't stand the chocolate anymore. This is sort of, because I don't want to go into this fast with me having all those cravings. I want to me being sick of it. I just want to.
You know what it is? You know what it is, Jan? It's like you're trying to create an association with something that is a negative association. So the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
time you
yeah.
crave a cigarette, your last memory of it and your most potent memory is like, I don't want this.
Exactly. Because when you're keep them in check, smoke less weed, la la la, you tend to appreciate them more. But when you have them like an animal,
True. True.
stuff your face with them, it's like, oh fuck this shit. And I can also see the ways of the web, how the web is, how I'm being held prisoner by this whole structures of emotions, and
And
I don't know, perhaps.
survival, I mean, the survival being associated with food, that's already a big prison already,
Yeah. So
already.
so the food is the main prison in this situation, because to give you a little bit of the context, usually my usual state, let's say 3 months ago, I usually eat healthy, I meditate, I do intermittent fasting, I take care of my body, I exercise, la la la. But now I'm exactly in the best place to start a fast and see the difference, because I put on some weight. I did it on purpose because I want to start my fasting to have at least 15 kilograms to lose, you know. Because last year when I tried to do a prolonged fast, I stopped it because I was too skinny. I was literally too skinny to 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 lay on the floor because of my spine. It was too painful, or on my butt bones. You know, I couldn't sit. I was just bony, too bony. Yeah. So. And yeah, that's my plan. I want to start this 40 days. I
When are
don't
you,
look at it.
when are you thinking of starting? Like, what's the estimated time to start this challenge? Like, are you thinking before coming to Canada in August? Because you're coming here in about a month.
Yes, so I want to start it here to have at least 1 week here.
Okay.
uh, then I'm gonna be flying to Romania.
Okay.
I want When I'm gonna go there, I want to be a bit stronger than in the first 2 days. You know, the first
Yeah,
2 days.
your friends, family. You'd like to have some energy.
Yeah.
Have some food with the family. Yeah, yeah.
So I don't want to have food with the family in Romania. That's why I need to have those 7 days, 10 days here, so I can gather my willpower, uh, so I can tackle all the challenges in Romania,
Right,
like
right,
you said. You know,
right.
yeah. Especially this Vama Veche place has a unique party vibe. It's gonna be challenging for me to go there, especially I was always high, drunk, or something in Vama Veche. You know what I mean? So it will be difficult for me. But the good thing is the sun, the water, and the elements in Vama Veche are so good for me. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's it, baby. That's it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take the good food there, so it will be easier. And also, um, so I'm quitting food, I'm quitting cigarettes, I'm quitting weed, and I'm quitting alcohol. Alcohol, it's nothing. I don't really like to drink anymore. Weed, for me, it's very easy to quit because it doesn't, I'm not addicted to the physical aspect of it. I'm addicted more to the psychological aspect of it. But it's very easy for me to quit. Cigarettes and food. This is the binom in my case. Every time I quit smoking, and I did it twice for around 1 year, I put on so much weight, and now I want to cut them both and see who. In fact, it's so much to talk about it. I think we need at least 20 hours to cover all this.
And I love how we wanted to talk about fasting strictly, but I know I predict these things. We ended up talking mostly about non-fasting related things.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's the
Uh,
flow. That's the flow of it.
that's the flow of it. Yeah, you can't be stuck in a plan,
No,
especially in.
no.
Uh, so for me, this 40 days process, it's more than a fast. It's like a redemption. You know what I mean? Like I, I want. I'm gonna use this 40 days process as a portal into moving into a different stage of my life.
And I
Because
think I think
yeah,
that's literally the most radical thing you could do to change your life. A 40-day fast, like that is as radical. It's like you could do 5 to 10 years of personal development, or you could fast for 40 days, and there's your 5 to 10 years of personal development right there in 40 days.
exactly. It's like a life hack.
Yeah, it is
And
like that.
if you look at the beauty of it, you don't even have to do anything. You just have to not do anything. You know what I mean? It is insane how simple it is. If you just have to stay here for 40 days, and you're gonna be fine. You're
Yeah,
gonna be great.
yeah.
Almost every uh, physical health problem you might have gone.
Gone.
Uh, psychological problems gone, spiritual development, evolution. In my case, I think it's like I'm putting all the pieces together. I think the last um, 13, 14 years for me were training for this.
For
This is
this.
my, yeah. You said yesterday, we talked a little bit about dry fasting, and you said you used the term, you had the call for this. You were called, right? I have this calling for this process for 2 years now. Last year I tried it,
You tried, yeah.
and
Sure.
I tried it twice, and I might, this might be also just a try.
Well, I'll
You
tell
know
you,
what I mean?
there were periods when we were talking last year, you were beaming with light, man. There were periods like you were like Jesus with the halo. You know, there were certain times where you were like Jesus with the halo.
Man, I'm so far away in terms of physical. So me, that little shine in me, it's still there, right? But because of all these bad habits that I developed lately, like eating like crap, not meditating, doing everything backwards, basically, I can see the contrast so vivid in my, you know what I mean? I can see why you can't do anything from this state, the state that I'm right now. And this is like an average state for for
For the
mm,
average
the,
person. Yeah, that's your
yeah,
average human being. Which is
not
scary.
not
Scary.
not even the average, because even now I still do sun gazing, I walk barefoot, I do, some other, and I still have a very positive core, sort of speak. But uh, and I'm not even eating fast food or anything, don't get me
Wow,
wrong.
man. Wow. Like, you just basically painted the picture for everybody watching this about the state of affairs of our planet.
Yeah, so I'm perhaps in the first 10% of people
Yeah,
right now in this state,
in this
and
state.
is
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and I feel like shit comparing with my usual state, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing is meditation. I'm completely, I stopped completely. Okay, you may argue that if you meditate for a while, you're gonna tend to reach that meditative state like natural during the day. And perhaps I'm more in a meditative state than I don't know, 10 years ago when I didn't know how to meditate, or when I didn't practice to do it, but for me now, it's like I'm sick, and I want to get better. And and another thing, I'm not sure if I've told you about this. I want to document the whole process. So to be honest, I'm too shy to start like a YouTube channel. I think my English is not so good to, I don't know, to produce all this content. But what I can do, I can record everything that I think is important during these 40 days, especially because I'm going to be traveling so much. I'm going to meet a lot of, people, uh, interesting subjects, and I can do like you do. I don't know, use the camera sometime as a friend,
Well, man,
just to.
I think, honestly, like I'm not trying to stroke your ego, but this has been an absolutely wonderful podcast.
Do you think so?
I think so, man. I'm not kidding. This.
But by the way, I didn't ask you. We are now live, or you gonna?
No, no,
Uh,
it's gonna be later. So it's gonna be,
oh, okay, so
yeah,
that's good.
yeah. It's
So
gonna be later. It's gonna be later. So what happens now is it gets saved in my YouTube thing, and then I think I have 9 videos, so it'll probably be posted 9 days from now.
9 days, man,
Nine.
you are like a crazy working machine.
I can't help it, Jan. I say to myself today. I said to myself, okay, stop talking and just sit down. No videos. And I go about my day. I do my walk. I sit there and I meditate in this nice area. And I'm like, I gotta make videos. I come home, I grab my phone, I grab my selfie stick, and I make 2 videos. I can't help it. It's one of those things, it can't be helped. You see? Yeah,
But
help.
uh, tell me something. If you would make a documentary, do you have any tips for me? Any advices? How should I do it? Because obviously you don't need to record everything. Like I'm,
No,
I'm eating, now I'm shitting, now I'm walking.
it's going to overwhelm you if you do that, to be honest. Uh,
Is what?
it's going to overwhelm you if you do that. You're going to feel like you're in this reality show, and it's going to overwhelm you if you do that.
Another thing that is very important for me to make it clear, I'm using this, let's say, the audience, right? Generally speaking, the
Generally speaking.
everybody else. Yeah, I'm using it for me to structure my ideas, to have like that flow, that circle of energy. But I don't want to do anything just to be popular. I don't want to say a word just to please somebody else, or to attract people. I don't care.
Okay.
So you can give me some
Well,
advices.
just always play all your cards on the table. Whatever card, play it. Like, I love how you played the first card in the beginning of the video. You said, "I'm nervous." There, you played your card. Play all your cards on
Mhm.
the table at all times, and you'll be at ease.
You can't fail being honest, right?
No, you can't. You can't. You can't be. Yeah, no. It just like kids. Kids are good in that way. You know, you just be honest. Just play all your cards on the table. All of them. All of them. Whatever they may be in the moment, just play it out.
Yeah. So you asked me when I want to do it, the fast.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was thinking about finishing it in Canada.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
want to finish. I want to finish it in Canada, and I want to refeed at least 5 days in Canada,
Okay.
and then so something like this.
So
But
so you're thinking of starting when exactly? Do you have an exact like date? Because I know you're traveling in 2 weeks. You said you want to do it a week before.
so I will have all my money to buy tickets and to invest in all this journey on Tuesday, I think, next Tuesday.
Okay.
So on Tuesday, I'm gonna book my flights to Romania, from Romania to Canada, from Canada to Manchester. I'm
Yep.
gonna
Oh,
sort all these logistical aspects. I have to go to buy myself a laptop, a camera, a tripod, a selfie stick, you know, storage space, power banks, cables.
keep it simple though. Just keep it simple.
Yeah, but simple. I'm gonna take the essentials.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm gonna reduce my luggage to basically nothing, because in Romania, in Vama Veche, you can basically just stay there in a pair of shorts for a week. It's hot outside. I'm gonna be staying in a tent, and that's good because it's gonna be for free.
Nice.
And and um, so 15 years ago, when I first went there, I stayed for 2 years in the tent, and then I start going and renting like rooms, every time I went there. But it's better to stay in a tent. Why? Because at 7 in the morning, 7 a.m., you're gonna be wake up by the sun. You can't stay in the tent anymore.
Can't stay in the tent. No.
Yeah,
No.
after 5 minutes of cursing and being like, fuck you, son, you're gonna, man, trust me. So you're gonna crawl like a frightened turtle out of the tent. The the sea, it's 10 meters away, and exactly like a turtle, you're gonna go. And 5 minutes later, you're good to go. You're like brand new, like you are newborn, bathing in the sun at 7 in the morning.
Nice.
Uh, after a night, even after a night out. So usually in Vama Vecchia, you can't go to sleep. Uh, I don't know, before 2 o'clock or so in the morning. So let's say 3 o'clock. This is like an average, and wake up at 7. 4 hours of sleep every night for 2 weeks. Never felt better in my life.
Well, and if
So
you're going to be fasting, Jan, you're barely going to be needing any sleep as is.
I
Yeah.
know.
So like that's perfect.
Yeah, and I was thinking about Vama Vecchia in particular because I never felt so energized in my life in somewhere else. It's like the
But
best
prana,
place.
yeah, the energy, the prana there, it's very uplifting, very high.
And also, I have this ritual that I'm doing every time I go there. So around half of mile, something like this, like 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers, let's say 1 mile in the sea, you have some fish nets. So this is the shore.
Yeah,
Everybody's on the shore, and like 1 mile away, you see those fishing nets.
yeah,
You know, I have this ritual with my friends. We like to swim to the fishing nets. Usually, people don't swim so far because it's dangerous. But we usually go to the lifeguards and we talk to them. Okay, we want to go there. We know how to swim, and this is our ritual. I'm going there, and this place, this is the most eastern place in Romania, and it's like a magical place. You are on the edge of the map, right? So I'm in the water, 2 miles away from the shore. This is the most. I'm on the edge, the very edge of my country. It's Turkey. If I keep on
Turkey there.
swimming,
Oh, okay. Is this the
but
Black Sea?
yeah, the Black Sea, the
Black
Black Sea, yeah. So it's Turkey on the other side. Yeah, it's impossible to swim, but you know what I mean. And we have dolphins in that gulf in Vama Vecchia. You don't have them all the time, but every year, twice, you can see them in different occasions. And it is always my dream to get in touch with one dolphin one on one. And usually I try to meditate there to, like to center myself and send this calling to the dolphins. I'm doing this every time. And
Yes.
one day, who knows, perhaps now because I'm going to be in a
Higher state.
much higher state, yeah.
Higher state.
And to give you another trick, I usually pee in the water when I'm doing this because I'm signaling the dolphins, look, smart DNA, come and say hi, something like this. That
By the
was
way,
my.
I watched a few documentaries on them, and the guy said, "I'm not sure if we're trying to study dolphins or dolphins are trying to study us."
Hmm.
Yeah,
See, another creatures that we don't really understand.
I would put an exception case for dolphins and whales. They seem to be very, very intelligent and very conscious.
And according to that John C.
Yeah,
Lilly studied communication with dolphins. Yeah,
yes, John Lilly is actually one of my idols because the work that he does is something that I would like to get into. Just inner work essentially, going in and sort of basically becoming something, because he was more focused on the inner, eh? John Lilly
oh,
went inwards. He spent
yeah.
inwards, not outwards.
Yeah. No, he's amazing. I don't know much about his studies on dolphins, but don't you think it's bizarre that we don't know to communicate with almost no animals? We didn't find a way to establish a communication with animals. That's pretty weird.
Because animals seem to be communicating with one another, on a regular basis. But for us, yeah, it's really bizarre that we haven't figured out a way.
Yeah, and we don't treat them. So think about it. If you meet like another entity, right? You don't know much about it. you have to have this respect and try to understand that life form, and they have to give you the same treatment. And you first, you smile, they smile, you give something as a sign of appreciation. It's like a protocol. We, with animals, we don't even try. We look
No,
at them like we already know them, we already understand them. And how can you expect to communicate one day with aliens if you don't know how to communicate with aliens on your planet?
that's true. It's very true. Very true, man.
Yeah. So we still have uh, to, and don't get me wrong. I'm not like I'm a vegan, but not. I I don't look at eating animals like being something really evil. You know what I mean? Because I know the way, the old way, if you want. I lived for a while in the countryside. I can understand how real people from countryside, they have this connection with animals. They are in this natural rhythm. They feed the hens and the chicken and the rooster, and then they kill them and they eat them, and it's not something bad, and is they don't torture the animals.
Well,
They
yeah, I'll tell you what, it isn't bad at all because I'm going to step a little bit outside here and say that we're living, there are four different timelines, okay? This is outlined in Hinduism, but it's outlined in some occult circles as well. You've got the Sat Yuga, which is the golden age, the silver age, which is the Treta Yuga, and then you have the Bronze Age and the Iron Age. See, right now we're living in the Iron Age here. Okay, this is the age of darkness, what's referred to as Kali Yuga. In the esoteric circles, they refer to it as the Iron Age. And because we're living in the Iron Age, all these things are happening. Animals, like we're eating other animals. So in that context, it isn't wrong. But I think where it becomes wrong is when you no longer need to eat the animal, yet you're still killing and eating the animal for pleasure. I think that's where it starts to become wrong. But as long as you're eating thinking you need
but
it,
it's not even a pleasure. That's the thing.
it's
It's
not.
not even a
It's
it's not
actually,
even a
and if you look into the health consequences of it, that piece of dead meat, it sits in your intestines for 2 to 3 days, and it
I
leaves
know.
behind so much residue. It's bad for you, man. It, like, from a purely health perspective, it's terrible. It's actually really
I know.
bad.
I know. But see, also, we can talk hours again on this subject, because I think um, a piece of delicious fruit that you eat without appreciating it, it's
True.
worse than a piece of crap that you eat uh,
True.
and and bless it. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah, I agree with you there because the mind is the ruler. Ultimately, it's your mind.
Yeah,
It's
and think about it. If we are living basically in a paradise, in basically in an
utopia.
infinite infinite generous universe, this
Yeah.
is where we are living. This is my theory, because we didn't know how to use the features of the paradise yet, but we nevertheless we live in a paradise. See the generosity. You put a seed in the plant, in the ground, and you will have food, and la la la.
Well, time is cyclical. We've had this golden age, and we're going back into it now. So it's not far fetched.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not a
yeah.
far.
So yeah, so we are living in paradise. We just need to figure it out. To And also we have to be patient with ourselves and give ourselves some slack, because it's not like we found a book, like an instructional manual for life, for us. We had to discover these things,
Oh man,
and
it's kind. I'll tell you, it's one hell of a thing to be a human being. You find yourself in the middle of this thing, and it's like, whoa, it's whoa, you know.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you think when do you what do you think about me starting this
Okay.
fast? Do you have any tips for me? When do you think I should start it, or
First 10 days are going to be very difficult, probably, as you know.
it's gonna be
Uh,
hard, hard as hell,
yeah,
man, hard as
but
hell.
I think
I know.
after about 10 days, you're going to be cruising.
Do you
I
think
think
so?
I think so. I think you're going to be very energetic after 10 days. I just think maybe the first 10 days or so, maybe less, maybe more, are going to be
My
difficult.
my my main fear is with cigarettes. This is my
Cigarettes or
main
the
fear.
foods, eh?
Not the food, because I usually manage to control my appetite using smoking. Now I'm gonna
Ah, I see, I see, I see. Well, I know this sounds crazy, but why don't you smoke? If
no, I did that last time. Remember last year?
you did
No.
that last time. The thing with
So
smoking, it is very toxic, so it's gonna interfere big time with the fasting
that,
process.
I want to
It's
think
very
about it.
toxic.
Every time I smoke, even if I want to be completely fair to cigarettes, it's not completely pointless for me. So I discovered some things that I um, so smoking served me in some ways, right? In a social way, in me structuring my thoughts, me having those moments of meditation in a way while smoking every day, pacing myself in different situations, using this as like a way of looking inside me. Anyway, but every time you put that poisonous smoke inside you, you you basically commit a treason to yourself. You see my problem is
Yeah.
like, and on one level, is you keep on putting fueling this war between you and you, and this is my thing. I want to stop the war between me and me.
Well, okay, so if you're gonna do 40 days, I think you should time it in such a way that when we do get together, that maybe you would have just broken your fast, or you're about to break it.
Okay,
What do you think?
so yeah, so you said 13 of August, something like
13,
this.
yeah, 13, yeah, yeah,
I,
13
I
of August.
I want to do something special on 15 August because it's my mother. She died 4 years ago, and she it's her birthday on 15.
Okay, okay.
And you know, maybe we can do some interesting rituals or something
We
like this.
absolutely will. We absolutely will. Yeah, we can probably even like invite her spirit over if you wanna like have a conversation with her spirit or something. Yeah,
Definitely.
we could probably invite her
Yeah,
over as well. Yeah,
yeah.
and I am in the perfect place for that. We're going to be in a conservation land for that period. So
Okay, that's good. That's nice.
okay, so
So
I think if you're here on the 13th, time it so that either you have just broken your fast or you're about to break your fast on the 13th, or maybe a
I
few
think
days before.
I think I'm gonna wait till at least 15. I can
Okay.
use 15 as so
Okay.
15. Yeah, so it's good. I think
That
if
sounds
I'm gonna
good.
start
That
if
sounds
I'm
good.
gonna start next week, I think next week. So let's say if on 15 I will end 40 days, 15, 15, 30 days. So around 5, something like this, 5 of July, I think I should start.
5th of July. I think that's fair. That's very good. That gives you what? That gives you, we're 29th of June right now. So that gives you, well, that gives you 6 days, man. Prepare mentally.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
uh,
Okay.
and I want to document some of my current state as well. So I want to start recording myself and do some recordings even before starting the fast.
Are you going to start a YouTube channel and do this?
So have you seen the movie Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead?
Is it a documentary or is it a movie?
It's a
Yeah,
documentary.
yeah, I've seen it.
So basically, I want to do the same. I'm this guy with this project for 40 days. I don't know how to do a documentary, but I'm
I don't know
I don't
either because I've never done one. I've never done one, but
know. I'm gonna go with the flow, record myself,
I think
and
man, go with the flow. Go with the flow, and obviously you have my channel as a medium if you want to express
and
it.
I can post some on my channel. I can post some on my channel,
Okay.
even if I plan on doing a like a documentary. You know what I mean? I'm planning on doing a documentary,
Well,
but
I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. If you could get views too, because if you put certain keywords in the videos, there are certain videos that do really good right off the bat with certain
this
keywords.
could I think this could be a very interesting video for many people
I think
because it is like uh, it's out of ordinary in first place, right? It's extraordinary in a way to fast for a long period of
very
time,
extraordinary, especially in the modern world, especially.
and especially with somebody that I don't know. I definitely you will. So if I will finish this project, you will definitely see the results on me because it's not like mm, I'm in the perfect shape and I want to fast just to improve 1%. No, I see I'm fat, sick, and nearly dead. So I
Uh,
want to,
uh,
uh, you know what I mean? I want to show to my kids, to my friends first, and then to everybody that you can actually heal yourself using this process. And it's natural, it's powerful, and beside the physical component, it is also the emotional and the spiritual component of the fasting that are really powerful.
very
So
exciting, man. So I gotta get going in 5 minutes. So let's wrap this up. I would like to have you more on the podcast as a recurring guest.
we can have one just before I'm gonna start the
You know
fast.
what? Honestly,
I can have my last joint bottle of
okay,
vodka and dinner
so
with you if you want next time.
okay,
We can
so okay, that's good. So we'll have the podcast. We'll have another podcast very soon. Like we'll have it on July 4th. How's that?
do do you
Celebrating
have
America Day.
all right, that's a
Yeah,
like a good day to start, right? For
yeah.
4th of July.
So that could be your last, like your last vodka celebrating. The new
Do you
world and all that stuff.
Yeah, man, 4th of July, 15th of August. I like to, even if it's just in my head, I like to give meaning to those things. You know what I mean? So I don't fool myself. I know that you can choose everything and see a
Of course.
pattern in it, but why not use this if it's powerful, as in setting your intention and, you
Yeah.
know?
So do you want to start on July 4th, or would this be your last day eating and drinking and all that?
Do you have like a calendar in front of you? Do you
I'm
know
looking at it. It's Thursday. Yeah, July 4th is Thursday.
next Thursday?
Yeah, next
So
Thursday.
now,
This coming
so
Thursday.
today we
Yeah,
have so it's like very soon.
very soon. Yeah, very soon.
And I'm getting nervous and afraid, but yeah.
So,
So
so
I
okay.
think
Do you want to
yeah.
start on the 4th, or do you want this to be your last day of eating and drinking?
No, let's celebrate on 4th, having the
Okay.
last supper, so to
Okay.
speak.
All right.
We
All
can
right. All right.
we
So
can do a recreation of last supper. I can use my kids as extras, and with you.
okay, man. All right. You know what? What I'm gonna do is I'm going to I gotta get going in 3 minutes. So look, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post this podcast tomorrow. I'm gonna delay my other videos so that.
Okay, this.
And what we'll do for our next video, our next podcast, we'll go live. Okay?
But I think your viewers will appreciate this kind of random talking with like because they don't know me.
Then they have to unsubscribe if they don't appreciate.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let's see. Let's see how it goes. To be honest, man, I'm so concerned about this. I'm so afraid to put myself out there. I think this is the biggest challenge for
Very
me.
brave, man. It's very. It's you. Okay, back to your question, Saeed. Where is the struggle? There's none. Why? Because I've done a lot of brave things into my life, and that's why there's no struggle anymore.
Like Leo Gura said, uh, tough decisions, easy life.
Easy life.
Easy decisions, hard life. So
That's God bless. That's the truth. The truth has been spoken.
yeah, take the hard decisions, do the hard things, and you have an easy life.
Easy life.
Choose,
Period.
choose the easy way, and you're gonna have a hard life. Something like this.
We'll finish off on that truth. So podcast.
All right,
Podcast
let's
tomorrow.
finish.
We'll go live on July 4th. Okay.
All right, man.
Okay, brother. I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you. Thank you so much.
This has been a pleasure.
Okay, bro. Bye bye. Bye. See
Bye.
you. Bye.